Law enforcement officials around the world increasingly rely on a growing network of surveillance cameras to help solve crimes. But do more cameras mean more protection or simply less privacy? Consumer correspondent Susan Kopen has been digging into this one. Good morning.
Good morning, Erica. Whether we are in malls, hotels, public parks, or on the street, there's a good chance that wherever you go, a surveillance camera is close by.
While mystery still shrouds Joran Vandersloot's involvement in the disappearance of Natalie Holloway, there appears little doubt he was the last person to see Stephanie Flores alive. A conclusion helped with the presence of surveillance cameras that captured the pair in Peru that fateful night. Video shows Vandersloot and Flores entering his hotel together, but Vandersloot was the only one to ever leave. Law enforcement agencies say surveillance cameras have become a valuable crime-fighting weapon, like the infamous Craigslist killer identified on hotel surveillance. And the bombings in Mumbai and London, suspects brought to justice after their images were caught on tape. The Department of Homeland Security has provided $1 billion to cities and towns to install cameras in public places. In New York City, more than 5,000 cameras are monitored by the NYPD. Police Commissioner Raymond Kelly wants even more.
I believe it acts as a deterrent, and of course, if something happens, it provides us with a record, or potentially provides us with information.
Like this case in January, police tapped into surveillance cameras after a 911 stabbing call. They were able to follow this suspect until officers could make an arrest.
It was 2 minutes after he left the building, so that was a case of real-time monitoring that paid off.
But the rise of electronic eyes has critics.
These cameras are completely unregulated. There's rarely a discussion about whether it's appropriate to put a camera up. They're simply installed, and we think that's slowly eroding the way people act in public.
And it's not just public places where cameras are rolling. This couple was filmed by a police helicopter during a romantic moment on a private balcony. They had no idea they were being taped.
They actually watched the couple in the embrace. And candidly, this is what frequently happens with video footage.
Experts say there are so many surveillance cameras, there are just too many to count. You never know when somebody somewhere will be watching. Right now, you're watching me in Times Square in New York City.
And this is outside famed Wrigley Field in Chicago. The website earthcam.com has a surveillance camera set up, and anyone, anywhere, can watch live.
Like all these people here, they probably have no idea that they're on camera.
We sent a crew to the ballpark to ask folks how they felt about being watched.
It's kind of scary, but that's technology. I guess that's the way the world is now.
Grab that family for me. This is Susan Kopen from The Early Show. I'm watching you right now. Does that freak you out?
I don't mind because that's just another set of eyes watching my kids for me.
Well, it's interesting. I mean, people often want to give up their privacy rights in the abstract. Would you really like that embarrassing incident, you know, the time when you said, "Ooh, I hope nobody saw that," captured on a video camera, placed on the internet and shown to millions of people? Then suddenly the answer changes.
Whether you like it or not, one thing is for sure. Cameras aren't going anywhere anytime soon. The eye in the sky will be watching.
That's the way the world is these days. I don't think there's any real turning back.
And people on both sides of this debate point to the case of the failed Times Square car bomber. Commissioner Kelly said surveillance cameras helped track the path of that car into Times Square. The ACLU said despite dozens of cameras surrounding the area, no clear image of the bomber was ever caught on tape. Erica.
You can really make it work, too, whichever side you're rooting for. But there has been some polling done overall. How do Americans feel about being caught on camera?
A majority of Americans say they're fine with it. They like the cameras in place. And we've been counting. We've been looking up here to see where the surveillance cameras are in our studio. I've counted 3 so far, right? I don't know how many we have.
Yeah, I think we were told there are 3. And that's, of course, just in the studio. I mean, they really are everywhere. And it's easy to forget.
But
and especially, you said, 5,000 in New York City alone?
Yeah, that they're monitoring. Yeah, that the police department is monitoring.
So there might be more.
Might be more.
Susan Kopen, thanks.
A lot happens early on The Early Show, weekday mornings on CBS.